everybody! We're live! Let me put a message out on Discord. We are live! Hello, everybody. Music's loud in my ears. Let me take that off because that's distracting. It shouldn't be too loud for everybody, though. Hello. It feels like it's been forever. It feels like it's been 100 years. But it's only been 2 weeks. And we are jumping into it. We're going to give it a couple minutes for everybody to join us. I've got some fun stuff to show us. For those of you who aren't on our Discord, it might be new. It might be something you're not aware of. We'll give it a couple minutes for people to join us, and we're going to watch a cool little video at the start of this. We got 3 characters we are importing today. We've got fantasy, modern day, and a sci-fi. That kind of has been the general vibe of all of these clothing 101s, outfit 101s, MetaTailor 101s. Is I get 3 outfits, and that usually kind of fills up our whole hour, is importing those. Next week, I'll probably do avatars again. I've seen some stuff from Monster Hunter Wilds finally creeping into DeviantArt and Sketchfab, so maybe I'll find some fun stuff from there. Otherwise, that's kind of the game plan. So hi, everybody. Welcome back. Just giving everybody a couple minutes. We just posted on Discord that we're live. We just popped up live here. We've got some fun stuff to show you at the start of the stream. If you're not on Discord, if you don't follow us on Discord, you probably haven't seen this yet. We got a really cool video. We're going to watch some new stuff coming down the pipeline. Hi, John. Welcome. The 3 outfits, like I said, I had the fantasy, sci-fi, but the modern day one, it's actually a request from somebody about 2 weeks ago. They said, I want to see some police officer stuff, and I've been doing a whole bunch of SWAT stuff, so I did find a police outfit, and we'll see how it works. It's a little low poly, but we'll give it a shot. We'll give it a test. But I think it'll be really interesting to see the police officer outfit pop in here. So that's what we're going for. We got quite a few people. I'll give it like 20 more seconds, and we'll go ahead and get started. Let me get this set up. We got a really cool video for you all. Yeah, let's go. Here we are. All right, so if you are not aware of, if you're not familiar, we are partnering with Character Creator 4, and this is a little sneak peek of what that'll look like. So give it a watch, hang out with us, and let's see what we have coming down the pipeline. And there it is. Hopefully that just fixed my voice as well. But isn't that super cool? This was released out on Discord a couple days ago, this video from our team, our amazing developers. But with a simple click back and forth, you can take your character out of Character Creator, send it to MetaTailor, get it dressed in any of our outfits, especially if you're a pro user. We have so many outfits ready to just hop on, and it just works. It turns dumb meshes into smart meshes. It rigs it, it skins it, it gets it game ready. And then with the same click of a button, you can send it right back to Character Creator and see it animated, see it on your character in Character Creator. So this is an amazing partnership we have coming up very soon. So keep an eye out for that. If you're not following us on Discord, if you're not subscribed to this channel, or this is your first time watching, please jump on, give us a like, give us a subscribe, join us on our Discord channel, because so much stuff gets shared, really new stuff. We're always innovating, we're always moving forward. What's the next big thing we can push? And right now, this partnership with Character Creator 4 is one of our big ones. So, really exciting stuff. The other reason why I love our Discord community is it's this fantastic place. If you've got questions, concerns, if you run into any hiccups while you're playing around in MetaTailor, you are always welcome to just throw those issues on there. And we've got a whole team of people. I'm on there. Our devs are on there. We try to problem solve and figure out your issues right there on the spot and get you working and get your project up and running. And so our Discord channel is really cool. I really recommend hopping in there and joining us. That's where we post all this neat stuff. Sometimes we have secret streams on our Discord, so join us there. So hello everybody who joined during that video. Just a fun little announcement. Roll back and watch if you haven't seen it. So today, we're just doing our Clothing 101 series. We're looking at 3 different types of clothing. I've got this like woodland ranger female kind of outfit. I've got a police officer outfit, a full beat cop looking outfit from a request from one of you from 2 weeks ago. So if there's any outfits you're looking for, something that I can find easily on Sketchfab, Fab, DeviantArt, any of those, Turbo Squid, any of those places, I'll happily download those for free and get them up and running for you. So we're going to give a police officer a try today. And then the last one is a sci-fi outfit. We'll see how it works. So those are the 3 I've got locked and loaded. Let's go ahead and jump into MetaTailor and take a look. Let's go get dressed. All right, I got MetaTailor right here. All of our wonderful past creations. We've had a lot of fun so far. Yeah, the CC4 partnership looks amazing. I am ready for that plugin too. All right, let's go ahead and hit new project. We'll start with our fantasy character. I call it a ranger because they've got a bow. And then we'll slowly move up in our decades, our centuries. All right, so a little bit of MetaTailor 101. If you're unfamiliar with your program, if you're one of our new users, this is kind of our default landing page. This is our default avatar. This is typically what I just like to import everything onto because it's so easy to switch from avatar to avatar. You just, with a simple click of a button, you can get it set up to an avatar that you'd like. Because this is a female character, I will be changing it. I've got really cool Carlac here, but I think I'm going to change it to, excuse me, hiccup. Peyton. Let's go ahead and grab Peyton right here. I'm going to move my head over, make it a little bit bigger. Peyton's one of my fun default characters we pulled in a stream a couple of streams ago. They are pulled from MetaHuman. All right, let's go ahead and hit import. Our imports work with FBX, OBJs, MTAs, GLTFs, and GLBs. I, 99% of the time, prefer FBXs. So where is our Ranger? I'm on my desktop, Ranger. The name was LOTA, Loda. That's what I've been saying in my head. It is from Fab. This character is from Fab. Let's go ahead and grab, let's start with, the one I'm the most concerned about on this is going to be our shirt, because I made some cuts to this shirt. The character was almost perfect. Oh, that looks good. But I had to go in and use my multi-cut tool in Maya to kind of shave around because the body, the skin of the body and the shirt were one piece. So I made some custom cuts and stuff to get that to work properly. That looks like it'll work really well. There was one more texture map. I don't know if it was it's just this MC. I don't know if it's a metallic map or what. I can't see it. So I guess we won't use it. And that's fine. We'll keep it really simple. It just came with this. It was a Blender file that I turned into an FBX and then edited in Maya because I'm more familiar with Maya. All right, Ranger shirt, that works. We'll call this a shirt. And how are our source dimensions? A little bit smaller. I'll keep it right there. I'll just shrink it down a little bit. All right, let's go ahead and get this on our character. As always, I kind of like to start with around the neck area. That's kind of my go-to. Where should it hook up? Where should it link to? Pull that neck out. Right there. That's pretty good. You can see the hips aren't matching as perfectly. The body isn't matching in some places, but I think that's pretty good. Let's go ahead and hit confirm. Is there anything I'd want to do on my pose match? I don't think so. Maybe I'll pull my hips in a little bit. Maybe I'll pull my shoulders out a little bit to get that to stick a little bit better. But other than that, you only need to hit about 60% accuracy. And MetaTailor is going to do the rest for us. I think my head might be a little too big. I think I overcompensated. All right, let's go ahead and hit next step and have that wrapped to our body. All right, that's looking pretty good. I think I'll shrink wrap this a little bit, get a little bit closer to our actual model. Perfect. All right, that was the one I was the most concerned about. Let's grab one more piece I'm a little concerned about for the same reason. I'm going to go ahead and grab the... Did I call it the glove? No, I called it the arm. I'll grab this arm right here and open. So it's like this bracer piece that's on the upper arm. Same thing. This little hole right here that I cut in, it's working really well. So this little hole I cut in because that's where the arm was still attached to the mesh. So I'm really happy that, once again, it just works. MetaTailor's fantastic. I do these things on my own, sitting at home, going, I hope this works. I hope I don't mess it up on the stream. Because it's not an accessory, but it's an accessory. Meaning I don't want to call it an accessory because I want it to wrap to the body, but I want it attached to a body that's not listed in one of these generic categories. What I typically do then is I call it a belt. That's my go-to if I can't find for bracers, for bracelets, for different things that are wrapped around the body that I think are important. I default to belt. I'll bring that a little bit smaller. This is an upper arm kind of piece, almost part of the shirt. So that actually, you saw a little bit of that in the character creator video. If I was to just bring this in, this character specifically didn't work as well. I could probably do it. I don't have the file ready to go, but maybe I can mess with my sci-fi file at the end of the stream and show you guys what that would look like. We've got this really cool importer, I'm forgetting the name of it off the top of my head, where when you bring in the pieces, it'll separate the avatar and it'll separate all the pieces, and you get to decide where to place all those pieces, how to import those, item by item, line item by line item. As long as those pieces are separated from each other in the FBX file or the OBJ file, it'll break those out for you. If you go back, our last two streams we played with it. So the last stream that I was in, we kind of really focused on that and kind of split stuff up using that. The one before that, where we streamed Karlach, the Devils and Demons one, that was a really fun one. That highlights that tool as well. So it's a really cool tool. For this character though, it wouldn't work as well just because it's a really low poly mesh, and the shirt and this arm bracer were part of the body. There was no separation. So the mesh extractor, thank you. I'm going to have to go look at my Discord and remember the name of it. But yeah, the mesh extractor is the name of that. But you saw that, like I said, in the character creator video, when they went to import it and they brought all the pieces of the character from character creator into it, it broke that out in the mesh extractor. So you can split up that character creator character. It's a little bit bigger. So it looks like this character's arm was maybe a little longer than our arm. So I'm trying to really finagle this piece. Let's go ahead and hit our pose match. All right, let's bring our shoulder back a little bit. There we go. Up a little bit. Oh, not the head. Arm down a little bit. Our sci-fi character, that one could probably benefit from the mesh extractor pretty well. Let's preview our pose wrap there. Okay. Let's say confirm. I might have to skip this arm because it was made for a character with much longer arms. Yeah, it just doesn't look good. It was made for a character with a much longer, more stylized forearm, so I'm going to just delete that altogether. That bracer, not going to work for us. And that's based on the model. Nothing that MetaTailor is doing wrong. MetaTailor is doing it all correctly. So let's go ahead and get the cowl. That's going to sit on top of our shirt, this cool little hood piece right here. This one, I'm not going to call it neck. I'll probably call it a vest. I think that'll be a good thing to call it. And bring it up here. A little bit smaller. Bring it back a little bit. That looks good. Maybe a little bit bigger. I like bulky clothes on fantasy characters like this. Or fantasy designs like this. I think bigger, bulkier. I always personally think that looks cooler. Shoulders down, arms down like that. There we go. Bring it all forward a little bit. Awesome. Confirm. Next step, that one will look much better. Oh, that takes no fixing. Perfect. Look at that. You'll soon be able to fully import fully dressed avatars and just extract the different pieces. I mean, that's pretty much what I'm doing, but probably from Character Creator 4, that's what I'm talking about. And the mesh extractor is really good. All right, let's go ahead. The gear is pretty cool, but let's get the pants on this character. Some simple pants. Goes down. There we go. That's pretty good. Let's do our pose match now. And what's neat, I'm doing all this work to get this into position and get this set up. But what's awesome about MetaTailor is you only have to do it once. You do not have to do this every single time with every avatar. It just works. It saves it. It transfers it. Once you get it in there, this outfit is ready to go in your wardrobe going forward. Assets like this is why I love the thickness adjustment, because that would take me forever to fix manually. Absolutely. Drop this underneath there. There we go. And I think this might be one of those assets where we really got to start playing with a little bit of that thickness. I want to shrink wrap it a little bit for the waist. And then that's hugging the body nicely. Let's add a little thickness right there. Perfect. A lot of this is about to get hidden by the gear. So let's go ahead and import that gear and make that look better. She had this big belt with tools on it and stuff like that. That's going to hide some of those seams right there. I'm going to call this a belt. Properly a belt this time, because it's mostly belts. That's going to sit like right. Right there. Yeah, that's perfect. Let's get our pose match. Let's use that to really kind of hone in on some of the shaping in here. And you'll notice I'm making it a little weird in some spots. And that's helping with our painting our skin weights. Whoa. There we go. The upcoming update, we found that MetaTailor often clips with low poly items. That will be fixed in the next patch. Oh, look at that. That's a little too wide. That could be due to the hips that I was messing with. I made those hips too thin. So let's try a shrink wrap, see if that fixes. That's fixing that pretty well. Only problem is it's shrink wrapping the sword too. So let's take that shrink wrap, our yield, fix it, like counter some of that. But I think we need to redo our pose match. There we go, and then turn some of that shrink wrap down. The whole thing and just kind of scale it inwards like this. There we go. That fixed it a little bit. That's looking good. Let's see what else we got to import on this Ranger character. Got some cool shoulders. We got the shirt already. Some knee pads. The boots are pretty cool. And then let's grab the shoulder. Finish up the top part right here. One pauldron. And if you want to mirror it over, you could. For this, I'll probably call it, let's call it a backpack for now. This is supposed to sit right on their shoulder. That's good. I like that. I'll just confirm and next step that. Just like that. So you've got the opposing sides right there. If we brought it underneath the cowl, it's going to push the whole cowl on top of it. You could like that look. That might be the look you're going for. I guess I don't mind that. Makes a little bit more sense. But I'm going to still keep it probably on top like that. And the dynamic layering here, that's where I'm kind of changing all of this up. So fast, so easy. You can see it automatically encompassed that pauldron. It did the changes. It put the cape over the top of that just with a click and drag. So absolutely fantastic. Super easy to knock that out. All right, that's pretty much it. Let's throw some hair on there, make this... So just some easy mesh clump style hair. Nothing fancy with it. That's stuck to my mouse. There we go. That's pretty good. That hair looks really good on Peyton. It was just a guess. That's what it came with in the Blender file. That matches Peyton really well. We can definitely try some physics on that back piece. Let me get the boots on her, and that's the boots and gloves, and then we'll throw some physics on this and see how well that looks. See, I might have to, well, I'll probably throw that on top like that for that physics, just to make sure there's no hiccups. Yeah, absolutely, we can see some physics on that. See how that works. Grab the boot. Ooh, this is a high heel. I didn't even realize that when I was getting this in. We had a question about high heels 1 or 2 streams ago. And our foot can't quite do a high heel. So what we'll do, I'll show you how to cheat this. This is actually pretty good because, like I said, somebody was asking about it. So this will give me a good chance to kind of show what happens when you do something like this. And a workaround. What's that next step? It's going to try to wrap that foot around this. It's going to clip through. And it's going to clip through a lot, but that's okay because what we can do, first let's grab this boot and let's mirror it over. Then we'll grab our model, and we're going to grab our visibility brush right here. And we'll sculpt on layered. Yeah, if your character's modeled for high heels, if you've got some Bayonetta-looking character, this will work just fine. But I think if I was to just, you can see it's crunching that heel up just a little bit. Making it a little icky. But visibility brush otherwise should be a nice, quick, clean fix for that. Let's give it confirm, see how that looks. So the only thing you can see it's messing up a little bit is this heel. And it kind of like crooks that heel because it's trying to wrap that around the character's heel. That's just a small thing. You could probably fix that. Let's see. Yield's doing a little bit of fixing for us. It just makes them a little bit chunkier. All right, let's take that yield back up. No, that's not quite doing it. What about shrink wrap? Shrink wrap's fixing it up, the calf and stuff. It fixed it a little bit. I mean, it still looks kind of cool. I'll take that shrink wrap back down, messing with the toes. And now I'm this character. Now I'm let's curious. Let's see how the foot walks with those high heels. Where is our female? Not running. I just want to see female idle, female running, female sprint, female walking. There we go. It looks pretty realistic to me. That doesn't look too bad. I don't walk in heels a lot, so I can't be 100% positive, but anybody who does, who's watching this stream, can tell us if this looks right or wrong. It doesn't look too bad. So yeah, heels can be a little tricky, it looks like. But that's one way to quick fix that. Whoa. All right. Yeah, let's take that shrink wrap. Make sure that yield is off. The pants are pushing them out a little bit farther. So these pants, I'd probably come in here and let's see, can I isolate these? Oh, there's a fast way to isolate. Right? No, like I said, I'm not a big heel wearer. You guys. So I'd probably come in here because these pants down here at the cuff are kind of pushing in or pushing out that boot a little bit. So I'll kind of shrink wrap these a little bit. See if I can't clean that up a little bit more. Confirm. And then let's turn everything back on. So look at our shirt, turn our shoulder back on, turn our collar back on. Turn that boot back on. So yeah, it's just pushing it out a little bit there. I was trying to fix that. Oh, and let's take this boot and put it just above the pants. All right, I got a couple other pieces. A knee pad, a glove. Let's do the glove. I'll skip the knee pad and the bow because I want to show you these physics and move on to some of these other ones I've got planned. So let's grab this glove so we can see our gloves. We got our left hand here. Gloves. Next step, left hand. Showing our new glove tool. New this year. The Character Creator 4, this isn't the newest feature anymore. And I think we said from the top gives us the best flow. So there's that. One. Come down here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Excellent. So easy. I wish I had this to teach my students rigging. It finds the center mass of the hand just instantly, just with a couple clicks. Does a great job. Creates that hand. Next step. Tweaking those weights. So across the hand itself, it's doing a really good job. That just needs a little bit more thickness, and that's wrapping around that hand really well. This top part here that's kind of going up the sleeve, I think I'll have to do like a 4x4 mesh on. And let's try, I was thinking 4x4 to give me some really good detail movements in that, but that might not be, that might have been too much. Let's do 2x2 and just make some big broad changes and see how well that works. And hit confirm. See, is it still going to wrap around those fingers? Yes, yes. Oh, look at that. Just with a quick 2x2. And the rest of the hand here we can clean up with like a push-pull. Confirm. You can pose match it. Steve John, you're teaching me something I don't know if I knew. I didn't know we could pose match after the hand was placed. Look at that, Steve John. I thought with the way gloves were built, pose matching was kind of locked out. Let's try that. Look at that. Still a little bit down here. I think that'll still have to push pull. I think that's, let's grab, actually, or even the grab tool. Oh, bugging out. Tweaking. Oh, this has happened before. Sometimes if I jump tools too quickly, it like freaks out a little bit. It doesn't close out of that tool. That's on me though. Let's give it a quick. Hi everybody, let's give it a quick restart. Let the system dump its cache, dump its memory, and open it up again. But thank you, Steve John. That worked perfectly. A resident glove expert. Ooh, I closed out of it. I'll try to recreate it later. I can probably recreate that pretty easily. Would it save the player log after I closed? Yeah, it happens like when I was jumping between tools. Every now and it's very rare, but when I jump between tools really quickly and stuff like that, I have noticed it happened like only once or twice before, where it won't leave the sculpt layered or sculpt original, like yellowed out, whatever you want to call that mesh. But like I said, I've only seen like once or twice before, so it doesn't happen often. All right, desktop plus me, backup, running. All right, and there's our gloves. Let's get some physics on this. I want to have physics on this cowl. Auto-generate parameters. Oh, you saw it there. Look at that. I might not need to change anything. Let's quick throw a catwalk on there. Oh, look at that. Just some, oh, look at that elbow. Kick it back. Amazing physics on that. Some stuttering here. I don't know why. Now that's something I haven't seen before. Wonder if that has to do with the mesh, because that's really weird. That would be blacking out like that. Run into a couple bugs here and there. But yeah, if I wanted to paint the parameters on this, I've got the option to manually paint parameters, paint blending, and you can see where it's black at the top, that's where it's kind of cemented in, white at the bottom, that's got the most physics, the most influence on it. So I could add more to it, add less, but I really like the look of that. So I don't think I'd add anything to that. The auto-generated parameters that came out of that, amazing. I really like the look of that. But if you watch some of our previous streams, Pompac, or watch our video on physics, you'll notice that sometimes you got to paint it a little bit to get it to look nice. Probably if I wanted to do, let's take a pop out design, let's grab the gear down here and take a peek at the physics. And auto-generate parameters for our gear. And we paint those parameters. Take a look at this one. That might be okay. Let's give it a play. So that's doing okay. The problem is, like, this back here, the skirt, besides this clipping right here, is looking really good. My problem is more right here with the shield. It's too floppy. It feels like fabric. So just that piece itself doesn't lend itself. You could split off that piece and make that piece not part of the belt. And split off the skirt here and make that different from the rest of it. This mesh, this model itself didn't lend itself to that very well. But I will go ahead and it's a good one. That's a good pose for this character. I like to save us on a good pose. That's not too bad. All right, let's go ahead and try our cop. I am pretty much done with my ranger for now. That's some physics. We'll try the cop and see if we can't get some physics. I don't know if I got too much on that character that can be physicsed, but we'll take a look. We'll see. Let's go ahead and import some of this stuff in here. I do have the tie. I can import the tie and do that. So yeah, let's go ahead and jump to our next character here. We're going to do a police officer. Once again, community request. If you've got a request, if you want to see an outfit put onto a character, let us know. I will try to hunt it down. I'll try to find it. If it's easy enough, I will download it and we will go over it. All right, we got our bottoms. Vest. There's the hat. There's the holster. Is it going to be you? That looks pretty good to me. Yep, we got some built-in shadows, some pockets there. I think that's the pants. Yep, look at that. There it is. Awesome. Next step, pants. We're going off our default avatar here, and with this one, we can very easily swap, move it between characters, move it between avatars, see all the different characters as a cop. His legs are just a little bit farther backwards. 60% match is all you need. Doesn't have to be perfect. It'll fix the rest for us. Put him in his pants. The one thing I like to watch out for is webbing in between here, but it doesn't look like he's got that, so that's looking good. Add that little bit of thickness, fix that up. Perfect. Import another piece. Cloth and accessories, police. Grab a shirt. Color. Textures. I bet you this one's a shirt. Yep, that's a shirt. Normal for that one. There we go, wrinkly shirt. He should have ironed it. He could have done better. Next step, call this a shirt. Starting with the neck. Line up the neck and the rest of the body will follow. That's pretty good. A little bit of pose matching on the arms. This police officer outfit, I believe, was pulled from Sketchfab. All of these are free under the Creative Commons license from Fab and Sketchfab. I don't have anything from DeviantArt today. Next time I might. I got a Homelander model locked and loaded for one of these streams from the boys. Ooh, okay. We have to pull our pants up a little bit. Let's do that. There we go. Didn't need a belly shirt. This one's moving smoothly. Almost too smoothly. It's getting scary how easy this is. Import, cloth and accessories, police. What do I got? Got my badge, my belt. The one I was concerned about is going to be our vest. Our bulletproof vest with all the gear on it. Because this was separate, it was not on the character. Nope, that's the wrong one. There we go. This was like off to the sides. They did not show this to me as if it was actually on the character. So we're going to find out together if these two truly go together. It's looking pretty good. Firm. Next step. Widen it out a little bit. Went over the top, but that looks pretty good. Awesome. And that's something you can just toggle on and off. Oh, that's good. All right, let's keep importing some more cop stuff. Get our police officer decked out. We got the vest. Let's get the tie in here. Add a little pop of color. Is it you? No. There you are. Not too much color. Okay, so this is a tie. It goes around the neck. I would call this... It's just a point on the neck. It's just sitting right here. It's not wrapping around anything. I think I'll call this one a vest as well. For talking fashion, that looks like the right length for a tie. Doesn't go on top of the vest, but it does go in between those. Tuck that into our vest. There we go. Let's get some better lighting in here. There we go, so we can see some of those colors a little bit better. So if you wanted this tie to actually go underneath, say, the shirt, you'd have to take the shirt collar and make that its own separate piece and kind of put that on top of the tie. But this isn't doing too bad, sitting right about there. Made it a little bit lower. And of course, we could turn the vest off and just see how that tie looks. Normal cop sitting right there. We could add some physics to that in a second. All right, cloth and accessories. Get a badge in there. There we go. This I'll probably call an accessory. I don't know why it disappeared on me. And you can see it out there. That is something weird to it. So we'll try it again in a little bit. Let's get something else in. Let's grab his holster. Hip holster. It does not have a normal map. There's a specular. Shoes, pants. Just seeing if it's associated with any of this other stuff. Nope. None of these other ones. Nope, so this one just doesn't have a normal map. Call this one a belt. And this one's going to attach to this thigh. Maybe a little higher. Right around there. There we go. He has a belt, but the belt and the vest I don't think go together. They're two separate pieces. See, I think the belt would go. That's a lot of stuff. So I think if he has the vest, he doesn't have the belt, and vice versa. So if we got rid of that vest for the rest of this, just to kind of show how that belt sits, looks pretty good. Let's get him some shoes. Tucking the shoes into the pants, absolute crime. There we go. I feel like this shirt could be a little bit more shrink wrapped. I think it's not very form fitting. So I'll just shrink wrap that a little bit, make it look a little nicer. That's a pretty good looking cop. Let's give him his last few important pieces. Put that on the head. One more thing, Rat Meow. Gotta get the all-important aviators. Oh, that was a guess. I'm like, that looks like a sheet for a pair of aviators. Now, I know the accessories logo is a pair of sunglasses, but I'm calling this head. Have these move with the head a little bit nicer. Without anything else, we start to look a little bit like Pitbull. Feel a little bit like Mr. Worldwide right here. Like ever so slightly. All right, let's give that badge one last chance. I've got a gun. I could also do a gun real quick and show that. Do I have? I do. That's interesting. Huh. Split up into two materials for a reason I don't know. Strange. We'll just do that, I guess. Next step, accessory. Way too big. Scale that way down. And see if we can't fit that right here in the holster. Guess I can make it just a little bit bigger. There you go. All right. Oh, and what I'll do for the gun is I'm going to turn off effects layering. So that it sits in there, and it doesn't make anything move to it. Last time, badge, for real. And we'll move on to our last character. And the last character, I'll try to use the mesh extractor on. We'll go back in, and I'll show you kind of how I prep it. Put it right there over the shadow. The baked in ambient occlusion. And I think probably do the same thing. Grab this. Yes, it's not affecting the layering too much, but if it was, I'd hit effect layering. There you go. There's your police officer. Simple idle. Cop walk. Hit that simple idle again. And the other thing I wanted to show before we go into our other one is the ability to switch between avatars. So the only thing that's going to get hiccuped here is going to be, I know, the accessories. The accessories sometimes don't match perfectly. But we can throw this onto somebody like Bernice. And it's that easy. We did all that work. We only did it once, and it just transfers to another character with so much ease. So much ease. Boom, bam. It's ready to go. Pull that gun up, get it into its position. Find that badge, fix that badge. It's affecting the layering over here. Oh, gotta hit confirm. That badge is what's messing up the hat up here. Just pull that down. Pull it over. Turn off effects layering on it too, so it doesn't do that again. And you can quickly outfit a whole slew of characters for your animation, for your video game. If you got cops walking around LA, Chicago, Washington PD, you can get a whole bunch dressed really quickly. Because you just set it up once. How long do you think that would take me in Maya and Blender? Impossibly long. I mean, I wouldn't even try it because there's no easy way off the top of my head to do that. You could do like a wrap deformer or something like that, but you'd have to have an avatar. You'd have to pose the avatar perfectly to the clothing, meaning that avatar has to have a rig. And a lot of the avatars I pull in for these do have rigs. Rig is a really incorrect term for when you download these characters off the web. They have a skeleton. They don't have a rig. They don't have controls or constraints or anything like that. So you'd have to build controls or constraints or rig the bones, move the bones to get them into position, wrap the clothing on top of it. To this level, to this degree, is not possible in anything else except for maybe Marvelous Designer. But Marvelous Designer doesn't give you the skin weighting. Marvelous Designer doesn't give you the Unreal Character Creator exports. Marvelous Designer, I don't know if you can actually import pre-existing clothes. I think you just create in Marvelous Designer. So even that, I don't think you'd have the ability that MetaTailor does. MetaTailor is filling this gap that doesn't exist across these programs. For something like in Maya or Blender, like my brain's still like clicking here. Of course, you would not have a body underneath. You would not be able to swap out different things like the shirt or anything like that and expect there to be a body underneath it. You'd have to have the shirt be the outer skin. To create something like this in Maya to this level of detail, 100 hours. I don't know. It's got some really nice wrinkles in there, some nice shirt. Maybe not 100 hours, maybe 40 hours. The whole thing, maybe 80 hours. I've never had to build anything like that. So, and that's designing the clothes. So like there's different paths, different avenues, but what MetaTailor does right here cannot be emulated, to my knowledge, in any program with the sense of ease that this did. What took the longest was I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 different parts I had to import in for one character. Whereas if you look at some of our other sets, if we go to our marketplace, which I'm just going to pop over to my head for a moment, I can show you our marketplace. I want to make sure I don't have any of our inappropriate bodies in there. Nope, we're doing good. Let's go to outfits in our marketplace. So if you go to our marketplace, where if you are a pro user, you have access to all of these outfits available to you, plus some more made by our own Sadie and other artists. Community members like you are selling and putting their outfits up here. You'll notice that some of these things, this Chekhov jacket, or how about the business casual t-shirt and slacks, this only has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 items, and I've got 10. I've got nearly double what that outfit does. If we take a look at our shooting instructor, oops, I didn't mean to download it. That's okay. We take a look at our shooting instructor. He's a little bit closer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. A little bit closer. So something like that would take about the same amount of time mine would. But stuff like that, it takes just a little bit of time to get all the different pieces in there. So let's go ahead and jump back to my content avatars. Where's our default boy? There he is. Bring it back. Viewport, give it an idle. and save. All right, last one. I'm going to peek at Maya for this next one. My sci-fi character, because you can see I already split it off into 4 pieces. So let's go ahead and not do that. I'll import those all into one, because the source has a whole bunch more stuff I deleted out of it. But I can import these 4 pieces, and I can show you the mesh. Well, I do need an avatar. So maybe I will just pull the source in and do a couple quick little changes in here. This one is from Fab. 90% pause. No, this one actually might be from DeviantArt now that I think about it. Bring in my source. So I thought this was a really cool sci-fi model. Delete the skeletons. So it had like the second set of arms. Oh no, this one was from Sketchfab because it had some really cool animations on it. So it had the second set of arms I thought was really cool. Let's quick throw, open up our Hypershade editor. I'm going to quick throw a material on here. MGBC TGA. And turn on our textures. So you can see this is just this quick looking, why is this being weird? There it goes. Quick looking model. Let's quick separate it out. And let's recombine. Is that what you would use? Mesh. Yes, this is the mesh extractor. This is a quick show of the mesh extractor. So I'm going to quick hide the body, and then I can show you these guys. Let's hit combine on our legs here. Hide those. Let's grab you guys, hide you, hide you, hide you. So this is how I split up a mesh really quickly in Maya. So I know everything I've just hidden is going to be together. So I'm going to go find all that stuff I hid, minus the boots, in this whole big list of nonsense. Find anything in here that's hidden, and I'm going to hit Shift P and take it out. That way I can focus on just this stuff and combine out the pants. All right, so I can hide you guys again. So I can take all of this right here. And I can combine this as one because that belt is part of the body. Then I can hide that, edit, delete by type history. And now I know pretty much all of this is going to be its own piece. So let's do the same thing. I'm going to hide some of these units up here. I left all the hoses attached to the helmet when I exported this out before. So I can grab all these pieces. I just thought this was a really cool backpack with a second set of arms on our character. And then I'll leave all of that for the helmet. So same thing, I'll take all this stuff out that I've hidden. Just a quick, fast way to split up a mesh for your mesh extractor. And let's do the opposite, hide all you. Unhide all you. I could probably save myself some time by naming this one right here body, so I don't have to keep hiding and unhiding it. And same with you, name you boots. There we go. Now we got all these pieces right here. Do one more spin through. I've got this weird one here that probably should have been connected to the body. So we'll do a quick combine there and hide. Anything else floating? Not really. Steve John, I could always give it a shot. We can see. But because it's so many little pieces, my fear... So when you bring it in, as is, it's all one big mesh. And when I hit separate, the way separate works in my is it looks at stuff that's not connected. And so when I separated, it created 1,000 pieces. So my quick cleanup here is turning those 1,000 pieces into 5 pieces. So I don't have to try to sift through all that. So we'll give it a shot. I'll show you what it looks like if I didn't do all this, but I am fairly confident that if that was the case, that it would not work as nice and cleanly. And so this is kind of how I created that image earlier, where it's like nothing horrifying at all. I was trying to get rid of the eyeballs in our ranger character. But I am fairly confident that if we attempted this, it would come in as 1,000 pieces in that mesh extractor, and that's not what we want. So that's why I'm doing this very quick cleanup, and that's for this model only. If you've got an optimized model that works really well, then you don't have to do all this. You wouldn't have to take all these steps. Zone eruption. All right, so we got boots. And this is exactly what I did before the stream. To prep this, to import it. All right, let's export this all out. Don't crash on me. Okay. I must have hit a weird hotkey. All right, let's minimize that. Let's give it a shot. All right, so let's go ahead and go new project. Call it sci-fi. Import. Cloth and we have to do avatar. Import avatar. Desktop. Sci-fi source. Which reminds me, the other one needs a rig too, and I deleted the rig originally out of the last one. Internal internal import error. So, not to worry, it is super easy to get a rig on a character. We can just use Mixamo. Don't look at me put in my password. Here, Mixamo. What was the last character we did? That peasant character. All right, let's go ahead and upload a character. Sci-fi extractor, we'll do that one, not the other one. So there, I mean, it also didn't work imported as is because that skeleton did not match. I bet you if I deleted 2 of those skeletons, because it had like blend shape skeletons and stuff like that, it might work. But just this couple extra steps here. Get the correct wrist. Get the chin. Elbow. The knees. The center of the pelvis there. Try to be as accurate as possible. Next. Give it a moment. Give it a beat. Come on, Mixamo. You're usually a little bit faster than this. Mixamo, free program through Adobe. Really awesome way to throw a quick rig on your character. And these rigs work with the animations in MetaTailor, which is really nice. Awesome. That's exactly what I was looking for. Yeah. Be gone, peasant. Welcome back. Sci-fi. T-pose binary download. All right, let's give it a shot. Import an avatar. To see the mesh extractor, it has to be through an avatar. Extractor Mixamo. There she is. All of her textures are ready to go. Let's see if we can't throw a quick normal map on there. Sci-fi, textures, base color, normal. Oh, no, I don't like that. I don't like that at all. What? She had a roughness. Or metalness. Yeah, there's roughness. So we can mess with our metalness. We can mess with our smoothness. Metalness right there. Was there another one? Did I see? No, I see an opacity. Yeah, there's a little bit of emission. I don't know where or what, but we'll throw it in there. And, oh, there's an ambient occlusion as well. And if we want to peek at that normal one more time, see with all this other stuff added on, if it, no, I don't like that. Oops, wrong one. Put the color back on. There we go. Next step. So here is your mesh extractor. This is what it looks like, and it saved all of that information that I wrote in Maya. So as you can see, if I hadn't done all those combines, if I hadn't created all that, it would say polysurface 1 through 10,000. So by doing those combines and naming those, it makes my life a little bit easier. So here's the body, here's the boots. I just color code each one to make it its own thing, like that. You got to leave the avatar unselected. But then you can see your body. What do you want that to be? I'd call that a full body. I mean, that's covering the legs. It's covering the torso. I'd call that a full body. Boots, put that under your shoes category. Gear, I'd put that under your backpack category. And helmet, I'd drop that on our head. Just like that. And so your mesh extractor will take this color coding, take these color IDs, and extract them out. It asks you for your landmarks on your character. We can take a pretty good guess. Because there was no avatar with this one, I'll just leave it as is. Hit next step and let it run through its steps. It's going to take it all out. It's going to bring it all in. But the neat part is it's going to put all of those into each of their own categories. So if I want to, I could throw this sci-fi on Peyton or Bernice. Brings it all in. Almost. Let's swap avatars. Tweaking weights, tweaking sizes. All right, so it looks like for this sci-fi character, it might be a little bit better to import these in and make those adjustments. It didn't do too bad of a job based on going off an avatar that was basically non-existent. I wonder. So I'm not seeing it over here. Let's go home. Let's hit don't save. Let's open up sci-fi. Go to avatars. Flip over to Peyton. Apply the helmet. All right, still really big. But now I can see it in my... dynamic layering, at least. Bring in... Boots didn't do too bad. Those fit on the feet pretty good. Probably redo the pose match on those. All right, a little bit better. Oh, a lot of bit better. That did really good. Definitely shrink wrap that down. Bring it below the boots and the helmet. Below the boots and the helmet. There we go. The last one was the gear. This whole thing just needs to be a little smaller. So probably better off making this piece its own separate piece in my extraction. So I can push that closer to her actual chest. We're not going off the width of the character in there. The back's looking pretty good. And we could try shrink wrapping it pretty high. That's going to affect those arms, those like secondary arms as well. So there's some little tweaks and fun things we can do to get that to work a little bit better. Like what I would do to make that work. I know I'm holding you all kind of hostage here for a second. So like I said, I would go back to this. This is kind of a big one right here. And I would separate this out. And I would make this its own portion. And looking at those arms, I might make these arms their own portion too. And like turn these into an accessory. And have that be its own piece and so on and so forth. So that might be a couple of changes I would do to get that locked in. But I won't do that. There's a little bit of our sci-fi character. You can see that working a little bit better. Not great. It needs a little bit more work. But the mesh extractor is still a really cool tool. Works well on characters that aren't this one. Simply this one didn't quite work out that well. That's just because I didn't optimize it for it. I didn't create it for that. But overall, all right, that's it for our stream. Unless you guys got any other questions, concerns, quandaries. Maybe next time I'll adjust that sci-fi character and we will try another attempt at importing all of those pieces in. But that's it for tonight's stream. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for walking me through. Thank you to Steve John for showing me that gloves have just that. I mean, it's just, there's more to it. There's so much in there. That gloves have that little extra oomph to them that you can pose match them after you've done the glove positioning. So that's great. All right. Well, that's it for me tonight, everybody. Thank you all for hanging out. We're back onto our regular scheduling. We'll be back here next Saturday, the next couple of Saturdays. Yeah, bring your questions, bring your concerns, and join us. I'll see you all next time. Bye, everybody.